I'm Chris Wayless, and this is a video on the Dark Arbor Lodge Baba Yaga Hut Challenge and all the submissions we got. First up, here's Derek Talls, and Derek is first because his was the inspiration for the challenge in the first place. He brought these to one of the Dark Arbor Lodge meets, and we were just blown away by it and fell in love with it, and several of us wanted to do our own huts, so we started the challenge. Derek did this one. I believe it was a cardboard form that he sculpted foam clay over, which he did not care for, to be quite honest. But he did get, really a lot of nice texture and form on this with that foam clay. So I was very impressed with that and very inspired. I think he did a great job and inspired a lot of us to do the same. Great paint job, pulls it all together. No wonder we were so inspired. This is the first of a number of Baba Yaga huts that I did. The hut itself is almost entirely cardboard, and then the legs are paper mache with some cold porcelain. I really had fun on this one, trying to capture that feel of that Slavic kind of architecture and coloration. I was very, very happy the way this one came out, and it led me to be inspired to do far too many more. But I thought for cardboard, which I really love working with, it came out pretty well. Very happy with it, including Baba Yaga's mortar and pestle. This hut is made out of a cardboard tube and box, hot glue, moss, faux fur, faux feathers, slime, clay, twine, various wooden objects, and of course paint. The porch is made out of a large popsicle stick cut into a square shape with a twine and popsicle stick ladder leading to a creaky cardboard door with polished hinges. The shingles on the roof are made of hot glue laid across a cardboard base with moss growing across it. The chimney is made of an old rusted cardboard tube covered with silver acrylic paint. The legs are made of fur and toothpicks with clay feet on the ends, all but the fur encased in yellow paint. The tail is made of faux feathers of the chicken variety. Below the roof on the front you will find hot glue stones put together in a cobblestone block for a broken upper window. The hut's golden piercing eye sees everything in its bottle cap socket. The cauldron within, the hut's heart if you will, is made from an old glow-in-the-dark slime, and it lies upon a cardboard table with toothpick legs. This old but wondrous hut romps through the unknown forests in a different world, plane, or dimension. This is Geordie Humphrey's Baba Yaga hut. We don't have a lot of information on this, but as you can see, it looks like it's all laser cut out of wood, which is a lot of tricky planning, so I think he did a great job on that. He also managed to do a smaller hut, we'll see in a second, but here I believe that's Geordie and the hut for some size perspective on it. And then here he did this smaller hut on the right. This is Derek Tall's second attempt at a Baba Yaga hut. And this is interesting as it's done in cement, a cement clay called Paltea from New Zealand. And this is a one-legged planter for the yard that he did. And yes, it is very heavy. So this is cement over a metal armature. And I love the textures he got on here. And it's quite tall, about 4 feet, I think. And nice detail on the leg, on the feet. And also on the top of the leg, which I don't think I have any good coverage of here. Some good detail. and quite a unique attempt. And inspiring, makes me want to try something out of cement. Here's my daughter Dana's Barbie Yaga hut, which she did to Barbie scale. So it's pretty good size, as you can see. It's got a lot of great fun detail. She had a lot of fun doing it. The basic form of the hut is actually just made up of mostly scraps of plastic and whatever was lying around. I helped her a little bit on the roof, which is cardboard, but she did pretty much everything else. The legs are wood forms with paper mache over them, which she did. She'd never worked with before, so that was fun. She's got a lot of nice sort of architectural little fun stuff in here, but really it's the amount of detail here with a real Barbie Yaga as well. And of course she's cooking a small child. And yeah, that's one of those little glow lights. And there, like as you can see, she did a great job adding all kinds of little textures and details everywhere. I don't even know where she found some of this stuff. I think she did a fantastic job, especially for a very early attempt at something like this. And here's another one of mine. This one was done pretty much all in paper mache over cardboard form. I tried to make each one of my huts a little bit different, use different materials, try and challenge myself a little bit that way. And I wanted this one to be a little bit more monstrous and scary. So yes, it's got the central eye and the monster mouth. Legs are out of cold porcelain, which I quite enjoy working with. I had all these little skulls from a set of Halloween lights that were just the perfect size, actually. So this was a fun one. It's a lot heavier than my cardboard one, though. But I was very happy with the way it came out. Kind of got that monster vibe going. Yes, it's me again. Sorry. But I did do a bunch of them. And this one, I challenged myself to do basically the entire thing out of rigid foam. I had several different versions, some different densities, really. And so that was a bit of a challenge to try and come up with workable forms and textures with the limits of the material. The hardest part was actually doing the legs, and that was a challenge. But they came out. I'm happy with the way it came out. It was a fun little experiment. We only have one photo of Darlene's hut. She works with a lot of found objects, and I don't know what she made the hut itself out of. I wish we had more coverage on this one because it looks kind of wild. Apparently we didn't get any information on Eric's hut. So we're just going to have to make some guesses. It looks like the hut itself was made largely, if not entirely, out of cardboard, corrugated cardboard at that. And I think he did a great job with that. I love the proportions on this, the sort of long hut. And he's got some good detail. I'm not sure what the legs were done out of, but it's got that nice nothing's quite square look about it. And I think that's a chicken sitting on her eggs. Yes, more from me. It never ends. So this was just a little fun one I tried to do out of EVA foam, which is a flexible foam. And it was, most of it was pretty straightforward and pretty easy. The legs were not quite so easy, as it's very difficult to work that foam quite as small as this. At least it was for me. But I like the way it came out. It's fun. It was a good little experiment and test of the material. just like this next little one, which is literally, it's just, I think it's not even 2 inches tall. And this is just a quick carve of styrofoam, like blue board style. And it was just to see how feasible it was to work something that small. Here's the first of 3 huts that Valerie did, and she got a different take on each one. This is actually a mortuary on chicken legs, standing over a cemetery, which I thought was a fun idea. And she's filled it with a ton of details. I think a lot of it's 3D printed. I could be wrong, but she went in and she made sure she got all the small plants that she could, as many details as possible, and it's busy. I think she did a really great job. All the moss, grass, whatever, a crow in the tree, and I know she took her time and got it right. It's a fun looking piece. This is my friend Peter over in, I think he's in London, England actually. He does a lot of paper mache work, and that's what most of this is. He always does these sort of diorama presentations, which I really love, and he does a fantastic job of getting all the wonderful detail in there, and just his take on it as it being a Baba Yaga skull hut on chicken legs was a very novel take on it. He always does a great job on everything he does. But I love the tree growing out of the roof. And he works with wallpaper paste for his paper mache base that he then works slowly as that material dries to get all the finer details. Odessa is a member of Dark Arbor Lodge, and she's very much multi-talented, but she does like to specialize in doing puppet work, and this is her Baba Yaga hut with Baba Yaga in her mortar. And as you can see, it's made of a lot of just natural materials. She really was going for that that look of what would a hut out in the woods really look like. I think she did a magnificent job of it. I really like the way this one came out. Especially the fact that she did Baba Yaga as well. And that Baba Yaga is separate and can fly away, as you can see. To work her magic, I suppose. And then return. Very fun one. Sam Cobb, another doll member, had this great idea of challenging ourselves with doing these little egg guys, wind-up egg guys. I'm the only one who actually did any. This one was done with epoxy clay. It's very silly and very fun, I think. But it's just really weird because you wind it up, and no matter where you point it, it will walk away from you. But it was very silly. A lot of fun to do. Some tricky stuff to do around the feet and things like that. But I also did another one, and this one was done in foam clay, which I also don't really care for at all, especially trying to get detail work down on something this small. But they're very silly, and they're worth making just to do something silly. Peter's a great artist, as you can see. This is his design sketch for his Baba Yaga hut, which came out brilliantly. I believe this is largely done out of wood. Obviously, he's got other materials in there, but I think all the basic structural stuff of the hut itself is wood. He's got a lot of nice textures, details, very much a fantasy, magical kind of take on it. I think he did a brilliant job. Really, really great job. My sister Renee is a graphic artist, and this is her take on the Baba Wawa hut. Yes, we're all crazy in my family. Here's another one from Valerie. This is a chicken hut on chicken legs. And she's done her usual keep everything nice and busy with obviously lots of animals and small details. I believe she said the chickens are all 3D printed, as she couldn't find chickens the right size. But there's a lot of small details in here that are easily passed over. But she did another great job pulling that together. Diane is an artist who works quite a bit in paper mache and does some amazing work. She has a blog which covers this build in much more detail than I can present here. But she's quite good. Her take is of a Halloween, almost jack-o'-lantern on chicken legs. I love the tree root as the chimney. I'm not sure what the eyeball was made out of, but it looks pretty darn good. She does quite solid work. And I think if you want more information, I don't have her blog handy, but I'm sure you can search it out. But it came out very fun, and I particularly like the final detail of the little spider hanging off the roof. So cute. I don't have a lot of detail on Lauren's hut. I know this was done as a stop motion puppet. I don't know if it was actually filmed or not. But Lauren's quite talented. She worked for me years ago, and she did a great job on this one. I think Nick built the tallest, thinnest Baba Yaga hut in the challenge. But he did a great job. I like the look of this one. And I don't know what he's used for firelight in there, but it looks like he also did a second hut from the photos he sent. And this is a different take on it. Still has those long chicken legs. This is could have been. Josh is one of the doll members, and he had plans to do a steampunk locomotive hut on mechanical chicken legs. Unfortunately, his schedule did not allow him to take it any further than these sketches, but these sketches will give you some idea of what he was thinking. Here's the third one that Valerie did, and it's, I guess, like a regular house on chicken legs, obviously in the middle of the street. And again, she's has an interior. I don't know how much of an interior she has, but she definitely has some interior in there. And she's got a lot of little details again that fill it out that you don't necessarily notice at first. I like the stained glass window. And again, I don't know what she used for a lot of this. I think some of it may be 3D printed. But she also put in lights, so it's quite ambitious. You can see the stained glass window really shows up there. Nice job, Valerie. Here's Ted's sketch, which is really wild. Ted's a professional. and works in the entertainment business, and just did an astonishing job on this. Really great job. Just so much detail, so many textures. He said he used a lot of just natural stuff, whatever natural stuff he could find, whatever cheap or free materials he could find. And this is a video he's put together on it. He was posting on Instagram. He's on Instagram as Foam Fabber, and you can follow him there. He does a lot of great stuff. Don't know. I missed his when he was posting stuff. I missed how he made the legs on this, so I can't tell you. But I'm very impressed with this. All of the Dark Arbor Lodge gang was just kind of envious and angry because he outdid us. But great use of natural materials. So much detail. And the forms are just really fascinating. Fascinating that he actually made it look like out in the outline form like a big bird of some sort, of big chicken. So this I thought was a really, really great take and a fantastic execution on the Baba Yaga hut. Yes, still me. This is my last one, I promise. I wanted to make a Baba Yaga hut costume for my daughter Dana. I make tons of costumes for my daughter Zena and never for Dana. So this was just all cardboard construction. As you can see, just started out as 2 boxes. Tried to add what detail I could and dimension I could with all cardboard, actually. And it was a fun project. I really do like working with cardboard. It's just so easy. Obviously, it's so cheap, but it's, you don't worry about it if you get something wrong because you just tear it apart and redo it. So I did seal this with a roofing compound that I usually use over anything that's going to take any scratches or anything. And then, a lot of this is just paint. There's only, I could have spent a lot more time on this, but I really had already made too many darn huts. The feet are done in EVA foam, and they were a bit of a challenge, actually, to sort of get all the forms to work right. And I used a couple of different densities of EVA, which was not a good idea, actually. But they came out, I thought, pretty well. It looked fine. The costume's a lot of fun. It's very, very silly, and that's what it was meant to be. And Dana's pretty good in it, and is also very silly. Silly costume. Okay, Nick has prepared a presentation, so I'm not going to say anything more about this one. Take it away, Nick.
Baba Yaga's house is that way.
Little hut, turn your back to the forest and your front to me.
And that's it for the submissions we got for the Baba Yaga Hut Challenge. On behalf of Dark Arbor Lodge, I want to thank everybody who participated. It was a lot of fun seeing everything come together, and all the finished pieces are just really wonderful to see all together like this. We had a great time with it. We hope everybody else did. Hope you enjoy the video here. I think there's some pretty impressive stuff. And again, on behalf of Dark Arbor Lodge, we all want to just say thank you, everybody, for participating. And hopefully we'll do something like this again in the future.